Hello and welcome to another episode of the Healthy Happy Hour. I'm Gina Carr. I'm your host. And today we're going to be talking about how to avoid getting the flu. You know, I don't want to get the flu, and I've been fortunate that I haven't yet. And none of my immediate family has at this point in the season. But it's really a terrible strain that's going around this year, causing a lot of death and, really sick people. So with me today, I have my guest, regular co-host of the show, Dr. Patricia McGuire, and we're going to talk about some of the things you can do in advance to prepare yourself, as well as, when you're in person at events, things that you can do. And maybe there's even some follow-up things you can do afterwards. I'm curious to hear Dr. McGuire's thoughts on that. And I'll alternately call her Patricia, Dr. McGuire. So, she's my friend and we're partners in a health business. And so, Dr. McGuire, what are your thoughts on this issue about the flu?
Oh, it's been a bad season. I'm trying to remember, they say how long it's like, at least since 2009 that it's been this bad. And it's affecting all age groups. We're hearing a lot about, young kids getting sick, but also, people that are older, they're more vulnerable. And I know some people don't like the thought of vaccines, but vaccines are a very good first line. They're not 100%, but, they're a good first line to, help avoid the flu. So what can you do with your lifestyle to keep your body kind of functioning at the best it is? And, these are kind of typical recommendations for every day, but they're still very important, like get enough sleep.
Yeah, right? Imagine that.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing. And, if you don't have enough sleep, your body is in a stress mode. And when it's in a stress mode, it really is more in a fight or flight mode because it thinks there's something wrong and, that you're not getting enough sleep. And so it tries to protect you, but it starts revving up, and getting ready for that. So you have, the adrenaline working more and the cortisol working more. So you hit that stress mode and your body can't stay optimal doing that. So definitely a lot of sleep, a lot of hydration, because most of our winter bugs do not like moisture. They like dry. Because you see, most of the illnesses in the winter, the weather is drier, the air is drier.
Okay, I hadn't really thought of that. So you're saying try to keep things dry. So specifically,
no, you want to keep it moisture because if it's dry, the bugs like the dry.
Okay. All
so
right.
You want more moisture.
How would you do that?
One is drinking more fluids yourself.
Okay.
And it's the closer to water, the better. Because when you start having other fluids, you're dealing with what's in them. Especially stressful could be, the pops or sodas. You want to have less alcohol because that dries you out. And dry is what bugs like, including the influenza bug. Coffee is good to a certain extent, but it's not the best. You can have your morning cup, just like I do to get myself going. But then, work for more of the water, Yes, you can put, like Arbonne Fizz sticks in it to make it a little more exciting than just water, which also has great B vitamins. But you want to keep, the hydration up. And another important area is in what we're eating. Our body needs to be in a slightly alkaline condition to function best, for the enzymes and our immune system to function best. So the more we eat of, fruits and vegetables, believe it or not, even mushrooms and garlic help us in the flu season. So yeah, put some more garlic on your food, right?
Good. I like that. Mushrooms and garlic. So
that's right.
All right. Those are.
But a lot of, like red peppers have a lot of vitamin C, and our citrus fruits do. Broccoli is great, because it has A, C, and E. These are the ones that help our immune system. So increasing your intake is one of the factors that can help your immune system fight this off faster.
Okay.
And I'm sure I've heard some ideas too.
Berries, lots of berries,
yep.
And dark leafy greens. Those would be good, wouldn't they, for alkalizing and for helping us to boost our immune system?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, of course, we get to the wisdom of and common sense of keep our hands away from our faces. And your hands a lot or use antiseptic to keep the germs down, because you don't want to be touching a counter and then maybe pick up some food and eating it, because then you could be putting the germs in.
Yeah, let's talk about antiseptic, like specifically the antiseptic wipes. Do those help or hurt? Because I've heard that they're taking away the bad stuff, but they're also taking away some good stuff. So, what are your thoughts on the wipes?
Yeah,
wipes and the gels.
Yeah, I would say, especially with this flu season, it's probably better to use than not to use, because soap and water will cover some, but if you're not around soap and water and you're touching stuff and passing stuff to people, you need to be able to protect yourself. So I would say keeping those around is important, because this is a nasty season. We've got A going, we've got B going. A lot of people are also getting strep with it at the same time, because our system is just so vulnerable. And so the more we can protect on the outside, doing things like the wipes and the antiseptic, and then on the inside, with getting in, the foods that will support our immune system. That's very important.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And a lot of people are also talking about the masks this year. And it probably makes sense to, consider those masks, especially the ones that have a little filter in front, because they can filter out a lot of the bacteria and the secretions. And the reason this is important is because they're really, the medical community is really trying to let people know that it's not just if people cough and sneeze on you if they have influenza, but it's even talking back and forth. If you're within 3 to 6 feet of someone and you're talking and they have influenza, the aerosol can still get you then, 3 to 6 feet. So having masks on in public places could be life-saving.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I mean, the country that comes to mind of people who wear a mask when they're a little bit under the weather, proactively, and
Yes.
I guess they wear them to to void off danger. Japan. The
Yes.
first time I visited Japan many years ago, I saw that. I thought that was kind of strange, and I gather they still do that today. And I'm a bit of a geek. I'll wear a mask on a plane if I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, or if I'm just worried about it. I used to just wear them for preventive means to begin with, because I got to a point back before I went plant-based that I was getting ill most every time I flew. So I was getting very frustrated with it. So I would just wear them as a preventive measure. And so that helps, right?
Oh, definitely. The other thing, if you don't have a mask, if you, believe it or not, having that air come down in front of you from the fan above, it actually helps prevent some of the secretions that are aerosolized from reaching you, because you actually have that blowing down and away.
Oh, okay. All right.
Elsewhere, you want it to go that way.
That's why they say that when the plane is just sitting, that's really the most dangerous time, right? Because the air is not circulating as well.
Mm-hmm.
So be sure to have your fan on.
Oh, yes.
I even geek out a little bit more. A lot of times I put like the whole blanket thing over my head. And I thought people do that on, people do that. And I thought I will never do that. But I do it a lot, even on reasonably short flights. I'll just put in my Max earplugs. Where are my Max earplugs? I've got them over here. I love those things. They're really fantastic for letting you rest. And then I'll put that on and, take a little nap on the plane. All right. So in addition to boosting immunity, I know that you and I both are pretty excited about, love some products that we use. So if I'm feeling a little bit icky, this is one that I really like. Where is it? Right over here. Called the immunity booster, Arbonne immunity booster. This is the gel form.
I have one too.
Yeah. Okay. Terrific. All righty. Well, these are really good, and I've given them. I take a lot to conferences, and whenever I hear somebody say they're feeling kind of icky, I give it to them. And
well, I mean, they're awesome to, because they have such great immune, ingredients. They have, a lot of the super fruits, the blueberries, the pomegranate, the acai, and they also have, and an ingredient that's trade name Epicor, but what it has is it actually has a yeast called Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is a yeast that is also a probiotic. And probiotics are very important to help, with immune health. And so, I when the weather started getting, cold and I started hearing about people getting sick, I started using it. As you can see here, I have my bottle and it's got my, you don't need to have this much water in it, but it's like, well, I'm going to hydrate anyway. I might as well do that. And I really think it's important as we're going through the flu season to support my own immune health as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that bottle looks a little dark to be water. Did you say what else is?
Yeah, I put the immune booster in here.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah, you don't actually need this much water for it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could do that too. But I figured I'm going to put it in and hydrate at the same time because you can, just like you did, just suck it down out of the container, or just like with 8 ounces of water. But I said, well, I might as well just get the hydration I need at the same time, so I put them together.
Okay, great idea. Earlier you mentioned keeping your body more alkaline, something that I've kind of start doing, then I forget, and then I'm doing it again, is the apple cider vinegar that you can get at most grocery stores, although usually you need to go to the health food store sometimes to get the one with what's called the mother, which is the healthier version. So in the big glass like this was just 20 ounces. I put in 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, maybe a little bit more, because I like the taste of it.
And of course, that will confuse people because they think, well, vinegar, that's acetic acid, but it's actually when the body breaks it down to get the nutrients out, it actually becomes alkaline.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? And lemon is the same way, right? Yes. Because putting lemon juice in your water will make your body more alkaline, so better to resist the bugs that are going around, and better to resist cancer and other nasty things.
It's amazing how food can help with so many areas.
Gosh, isn't it just amazing? I am so fascinated. I look at myself as a high school kid, and knowing that maybe they had nutrition classes in home ec, and I just thought it was such a bunch of bull. I just thought it was such a waste of time to study nutrition. It's like I'm just going to eat food, and so anyway, one of those things. If I could go back to my younger self and tell myself something to pay attention to, it would be that.
Oh yeah, well, more kids today are starting to pay attention to that. They're not. I mean, they're not perfect. They still like their pizza and stuff like that, but more are looking at healthier options. I was just a high school girl last night, and she's talking about the salad bar that they have at school, and she wants to be more plant-based in how she eats. So it's like, cool.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. I know a lot of young people are coming to plant-based eating for environmental reasons, because it's by far the best way to eat for the planet.
Right.
And I came to it. I always wanted to be in it for the ethical reasons. I didn't want to harm animals, but I thought it was unhealthy. So as soon as I found out, which is for many people the third reason that they become plant-based is because of health. And I found out that it was not only healthy, but it's probably the healthiest way ever to eat. I was sold. So it's very easy
and of course,
for me.
I came in because of the health benefits. That was my primary motive, which, I mean, it's worked.
Yeah, you're off all of your medicines.
I know.
So go through them, because some people might not have seen.
Yeah, it was just over a year ago that Gina suggested that I join her group. That was a plant-based support group for healthy living. And at that point, I was 36 pounds heavier, and I was on medicine for type 2 diabetes, medicine for high cholesterol, medicine for high blood pressure, medicine for reflux. And here I am a year later with 36 less pounds, and I'm off all those meds. And I just keep amazing myself thinking about, I had a knee problem at when we started too, and I did eventually have surgery. But right after the surgery, my knee felt better than it had prior to the injury, because I'd lost the weight. Plus I was, eating healthier with foods that would work with my body for that healing process. And I ended up not needing physical therapy. My orthopedist was just amazed at how quickly I healed and how well I was doing. You can't say enough good stuff about, understanding how food can be basically a medicine, to help reverse some of the stuff that, has gone on in our lives.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, let's bring it back to that's fantastic. And congratulations. And I don't want to just gloss over that at all. There's major accomplishments. And I'm so glad that it brought us together, and that much better health for you and so many other members of your family is, coming from that. So let's go back to the flu, because I had a couple of other ideas for when you're in person. One thing that particularly is an issue for me these days, honestly, is shaking hands.
Yes.
And that's because so many of the germs are transmitted when shaking hands. So one thing that I thought of that you could do is to just make sure you have something in your hands. So, have a drink and have the food plate in your hand, and you're walking around meeting people. Now, I guess there's some worry that they would be too close and that they would be breathing on your drink and on your food. So that may not be a good idea. What do you think?
I would probably keep my glass a little bit over over to the side.
Yeah, it's also okay. So keep them over to the side, but still have your hands occupied, right?
Right. Yeah. The hard part is, when a lot of people, on either Saturday night or Sunday, they go to church services, they often have the handshake of peace.
Oh, yeah.
And during the flu season, that's very tough. And, I'm not sure how many people would like to do the fist bump instead. But it might make more sense to, do an elbow of peace, at least show, that connection without actually sharing hands.
Elbow of peace. Okay. Or
you can touch someone's elbow. You can touch their forearm like this.
Right? Okay.
Like, peace be with you instead of peace be with you.
Oh, can you hold that up a little higher? I can't see it because of the, or let me turn off.
Peace be with you versus peace be with you.
Oh, okay. All right. That's a good idea. Also, a hug. I think the way, Europeans and people in other countries do it, where they do the hug.
Yeah.
I mean, at first I'm thinking I don't want to be that close to somebody else's mouth and face, but I think it may be healthier than and so Cynthia Lett, who is one of the world etiquette experts, told me that it's okay to do, but you need to say, say something. Somebody puts out their hand, say, "I'm a hugger. May I hug you?"
Yes.
So it's good to ask, "May I hug?" Because some people really don't like that.
Oh, I know a few people like that. Yes, and I am naturally a hugger, so I inherited that from my mother. She's a hugger too. So, but especially in this time of year, it makes more sense to say, "Can I hug?" Or because a lot of people say fist bump. That's kind of juvenile. Hey, we're not sharing as many germs, are we?
Yeah. What are some practical tips to keep myself from touching my face? Because while I think I don't, when I'm really paying attention to it, I know that I do. I do stuff. How can I consciously?
You get little itches.
Yeah.
It's being more consciously aware of what your hands are doing. But if you catch yourself doing it, as long as you're making sure that as often as possible, you're cleaning your hand surfaces of germs, then the risk is lower.
Okay.
So if you've been working with a bunch of stuff, just automatically use either a wipe or a little bit of the antiseptic gel. And then if you happen to do, touch your face or something, then at least you've taken care of that. So it's more consciously using this more often to be able to, because we often don't even think as we're touching our face, like it's itching, and you just do that, right?
Yeah, all the time. Okay.
So the more you just say, I am going to preventatively make sure that whenever I've been writing something, using something on the counter, I'm just going to put a little of that on my hand, and a lot of people say, make sure you also get the thumbs.
Okay.
Our thumbs do a lot of stuff. You think about, a lot of kids with, what do they call, video games, they use a lot of thumbs.
Okay.
Making sure that as you're going through the day that maybe you wipe down counters, bring some of those, Clorox, wipes, and as you do something afterwards, you wipe down the counter. If someone comes in and they're coughing, you wipe down the counter.
Okay. All right. Those sound like some really good tips. Back to the plane, there was something I wanted to ask you about because I've heard this for years. I've used it, but I don't know if it works or not, is to put a little bit of Vaseline right at the tip of the nose, right up into the nostrils.
Right.
Vaseline and polysporin, that both of those help to prevent, germs from getting into your nose on a plane.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. My logic says it probably doesn't make that much difference because polysporin, the flu virus wouldn't be affected by polysporin. Basically, it's using another form of Vaseline on your nose because of because you'd almost have to cover up your nose with the Vaseline, the opening, to prevent it from coming in.
So just rubbing a little bit, you think probably doesn't help?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't see logically how it would because, it may be down here, but it's coming into your nose from up here. It's like, didn't even touch it.
Well, to the extent that it's more moist than just your natural nose, maybe to your point
Except it's
earlier,
not in the nose, it's at the opening of the nose.
No, actually putting it up into the nostrils.
Oh, gotcha.
Is what some
in that case,
swear by.
Well, except they might also get it just by mouth breathing, but it might a little bit because it's more of an occlusive nature. But if it if you take a deep breath, it might go past that into the back of your throat anyway.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. All right. Well, let's see. So, when you're traveling or even at home, we talked about earlier, filling your body with the fruits and vegetables. Sometimes it's harder to do when you're on the road. Something that I often do is, if I can find a juice bar at the airport or when I'm out on the road, is to go to a juice place and get something that's really high in fruits and vegetables, not just the banana smoothie,
right?
But something that has beets and broccoli, and broccoli has a lot of vitamin C, right?
Oh, it's A, C, and E. Yes, all of them.
Okay, broccoli, beets, and certainly
carrots. You also talked about the beta carotenes, so between the beta carotenes and the vitamin C, going outside and getting sunshine also helps you. It helps your immune system. So yeah, you don't have to be out there forever to, especially in January, you don't want to get frostbitten. But getting, 10, 15 minutes of sunshine, even on your face or your hands, if you can, you're in Florida, you can go out and get more body, sunshine than I can. Right now the temperature's 3 above here. So,
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, it's a little chilly for Orlando, but it's
not 3 above.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, let's wrap this up here. Any other suggestions? Well, I did want to mention that today's show is brought to you by the 30 Days to Healthy Living, which is a program that will help you to develop much more healthy habits and certainly help you to, start doing these things that we're talking about of hydrating and, eating healthy, eating the right fruits and vegetables. Your thoughts on that, Patricia?
Yeah, because, one thing that, people, cause you think about, protein shakes and stuff like that, think, okay, this is going to cause weight loss. What we're trying to do is help you have an easier way of getting healthy foods into you. And the shakes are an easy way to do that. And then also educating you on how to create meals that are healthier. Because it's not, I always say it's not about the weight loss, it's about getting healthy. And one of the side effects of getting healthy is losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
So the 30 days to healthy, the 30 days of healthy living helps you, the products help support you as you're making a transition to healthier ways of eating, learning how to hydrate, stress reduction, all of that. So that after the 30 days, you've kind of done a reboot of how you think about eating and nutrition so that you can hopefully go on from there and continue to pick healthier choices. And it's that support of your body that then can help with the reversal of a lot of chronic illnesses. No shake is going to do it But if you're giving your body, shakes and foods that support, your liver, your kidney, your immune system, your body will then be able to take care of itself.
Okay. Well, that's a good idea. If you're interested in that program, certainly get in touch with me, get in touch with Patricia, and we will get you some information on that so that we can get you started up. There's a new group starting in just a couple of days. And
Right.
You can do that as plant-based, which is what Patricia and I are and what we highly recommend. Or if you are still eating, if you're more of an omnivore, there's more of an omnivore program. So, okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. With that, we will wrap it up. And thanks a bunch for being here. Let us know about your questions in the comments below. Be healthy and
Be happy.